Hello guys, welcome back to another tips video. This is the round 22 tips for 2026. And you've started off with Bulldogs of the North, 12 and 8, 8 and 12. With Bulldogs having more percentage. Last time they played each other was round 17 last year. And yep. The Bulldogs last week, they lost by 37. Joel Frazier had 7 tackles and Tom Liberatore 28 tackles. And for North Melbourne, Tristan Jerry had 8 tackles and Harry Sheasel 124 AFL Fantasy. Anyways, Bulldogs by 38 points to kick off the week. And yep, now moving on to Friday night, Brisbane and Hawthorn. 13 and 7 and 14 and 5 and 1. Hawks had more percentage. Last time they played each other was round 24 last year. And yeah, Brisbane won that, yeah. The Hawks, they came out on top after dominating the territory throughout the game. They outscored North Melbourne by 41 points from forward half intercepts, which proved to the distance on Saturday. And yeah, Brisbane have been upset by Carlton as their 7-game winning streak comes to an end. With injuries to Caden Coleman, which concussion, and Ryan Lester for a shoulder. But yeah, for Brisbane, Josh Dunkley had 9 tackles, and Hawthorn, Nick Watson kicked 5 and John Newcomb 34 disposals. Anyways, Hawthorn by 3 points. Moving on, Super Saturday, Demons and Dockers, 18 and 2 to 13 and 7, with Dockers having more percentage. Last time they played each other was in round 2, and yeah, Demons win by 9 points against the Suns. Joel Fitzgerald kicked his first goal in his 7th game, finishing with 2 goals and 1 behind. Injuries to Blake Howes with wrist. And yep, Freo Seal, the top 2 finish, they defeat the Dogs by 37 points. Yep. For the D's, Harrison Petty kicked 3, Jacob Van Rooyen kicked 3, and Tom Sparrow 12 tackles. And Freo, Josh Tracy kicked 3, Carl Warner 126 AFL Fantasy and 28 disposals. Anyways, Fremantle by 20 points. Yep, moving on. Swans and Port, 15 and 5 to 6 and 14, with Swans having more percentage. Last time they played each other was around 14, when Port fell short. And yep, Sydney came back to beat St Kilda by 19 points, and Port lose to the Giants by 12 points. The season's all over. Oh yeah. For Port, Mitch Georgiades kicked 3, Jace Burgoyne 11 tackles, and Jason Horne-Francis 29 disposals. And Sydney, Logan McDonald kicked 4, Errol Goulden 34 disposals, Nick Blakey 116 AFL Fantasy, and 6 tackles for Brody Grundy. Anyways, Sydney by 29 points. Moving on, Geelong and Essendon, 12 and 8 to 2 and 18. Last time they played each other was round 22 last year. Yep. And for the Cats, they won by 25 as they had Collingwood's 6-game winning streak. The Cats outscored Collingwood by 33 points from forward half, changed 62 to 29, and 30 points from marks, 70 to 40. And yep. For Geelong, Ollie Dempsey had 125 AFL Fantasy, and Essendon, they're at the bottom again, but Peter Wright kicked 6 and Will Setterfield 8 tackles. Anyways, Geelong by 46 points. Moving on, last Super Saturday game is Crows and Tigers. 13 and 7 to 3 and 17. Last time they played each other was in round 9 on Mother's Day. And yep, Richmond get their 3rd win of 2026 by defeating West Coast by 11. And for Adelaide, Archie Lutuwai kicked his first goal in his first game as the Crows won by 72 points. And yep, for Adelaide, Jordan Dawson had 30 disposals and Riley Thorpe 127 AFL Fantasy. And Richmond, Sam Lawler kicked 3. And Tim Taranto 133 AFL Fantasy. Anyways, Adelaide by probably 34 points. And yep, that wraps up Super Saturday. Now Sunday ticket, Giants and Suns, 9 and 11 to 7 and 13, with Giants having more percentage. Last time they played each other was in round 8. And yep, the Suns lose 10 in a row, this time to the Demons with injuries to Sam Collins. The Giants stay alive in the wildcard race against Port. And yep, for the Giants, Jake Stringer kicked 3, Stephen Canelio kicked 3, Lockie Whitfield 29 disposals and 127 AFL Fantasy. And for Gold Coast, John Noble had 34 disposals, 152 AFL Fantasy, Jed Walter 3 and Ben Long 3. Anyways, Giants by 6 points. Now moving on, Eagles and Pies, 11 and 8 and 1 to 4 and 16. Last time they played each other was in Pendle's 4:33 game, otherwise known as round 11. Yep. There isn't much to talk about here. But Jake Waterman kicked 2 goals 6. Yep. He's probably kicked more behinds than goals this year. Yep. Collingwood lost by 25. So their 6-game winning streak is over. And yep. For Collingwood, Dan McStay kicked 5, 9 tackles for him as well. Nick Dacos 35 disposals. And West Coast, Harley Reid had 34 disposals as well as Marcus Herbert and 11 tackles for Jack Graham, former Richmond player. Anyways, Collingwood by 59 points. And our last game is the Saints and the Blues, 10 and 10 to 9 and 11, with Saints having more percentage. And last time they played each other was in round 8, and that was when Blues was struggling. And yet, Carlton have upset the Lions by 76 to jump into the wild card. Jagger Smith was awarded the Robert Walls Medal. And yeah, for St Kilda they led by 24 points against Sydney towards the end of the third term, and then they lost. Yep. For the Saints, Max Hall 6 tackles, Hugo Garcia 6 tackles, and Carlton, Brody Kemp kicked 5, and George Hill with 33 disposals and 135 AFL Fantasy. Anyways, Carlton by 15 points. And yep, anyways, these are our tips for round 22. Please make sure to join my tips comp. It'll be in the link in the description down below if you want to join. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe for more AFL tips videos.